Hello everyone, my screen is a little bright, let me turn it down, but closing more deals, becoming better at sales, one of the things that I enjoy doing the most, I think, or at least like achieving better sales results. That's what I think that's one of the things that I enjoy the most about the work that we do, and I think that is something that for our clients yields very big results. And I think that a lot of our clients grow a lot on their sales skills, and I think that is something that they will enjoy the outcomes of that for the rest of their life, because it's not only business sales, but essentially you sell yourself multiple times a day, not only in business, also in private. I think overall becoming better at sales is like just do it. Just do it. It makes total sense. It's well worth it to put your time and effort into becoming better at sales. So it's also the easiest way to collect more cash. And it's something that is overlooked very often, because a lot of the people that I speak to are like, we have a lead problem, I need to speak to more people, blah, 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 blah. But then they have a closing rate of 10%, for example, or 20 or whatever, low end essentially. And you don't have to have a 80% close rate, because if you have that, there's something else that you should improve, increase your pricing or whatever. But if you are able to increase your closing rate from 10 to 20%, then you are literally doubling the revenue that you bring in. That's a 100% increasement, and that's very easily doable. Even taking someone from 20 to 40% is something that you can do, and something that you should really focus on, because that will increase your revenue by so much. And of course, in the meantime, generate more leads, start also focusing on your lead gen, etc. But don't overlook the importance of increasing your sales performance, because it's so freaking important, and it will deliver you massive results. Like I said here, the two go hand in hand. It's the main driver for your growth, and you can't have this one without that one. Because again, if you start, for example, if you think, hey, I am going to fix my problem by generating a shit ton of leads, then what is going to happen if your sales performance is not where it should be? You are going to spend a lot of time in your lead gen, and you need to speak to a lot of people. Your ideal situation would be that you speak to 5 people, and out of those 5, you know that you can close 2, for example, instead of, hey, I'm increasing the overall volume of people that I speak to. And that will just you will need so much time to actually convert those people, because it's the first week, for example, you have 10 calls. Then the week after you have, again, 10 discovery calls, but you also have 2 sales calls. You need to prepare those sales calls. Then the week after you have 4 sales calls, and you have, or 2 follow-up, 2 sales calls, and again, 10 discoveries. That just starts compounding really quickly. So you want to optimize your lead gen and your sales performance at the same time, so that you can close new deals efficiently and in a scalable way, essentially. So let's dive into the sort of process and the funnel that we took one of our clients through. It enabled him to increase his closing rate from 23 to 49%, reducing the sales cycle, which again, end of the day, it's not a direct outcome, but it will increase your revenue, because if you can sell a deal in 3 months instead of 6 months, that will again double the amount of new deals that you can take on. And overall, like I just said, increasing the overall scalability of his sales process. And that is something that I really clearly want to communicate. There is no quick and easy fix to achieve all of this. You need, of course, you can have certain, whatever, you can have a better closing question, or you can be a better communicator, etc. But you need a process, and you need to follow that exact process, because if you start taking away certain pieces of it, then your results will drop. Because if you you can't have a good closing rate when your offer and your positioning is shit, and you can't have you can't convert a lot of discovery calls if a lot of the people that you speak to are unqualified. So you need a proper pre-call sequence, etc. So it's you need all of the pieces of the puzzle to ensure that you get solid performance, essentially. So what we do, we kick off for all of our current clients. We kick off with the start, essentially doing the onboarding, etc., etc. And then the biggest you can be shit at sales, but if your offer is good and if you sell something that people need and if you sell something that works, then you are going to sell. Like you could have the freaking Cristiano Ronaldo of sales. If he is selling a shitty offer that no one needs, he is not going to perform at the level that he can. So I want you to understand that your offer, that is the sort of core driver of everything that you do. You need to ensure that you sell something that someone needs, wants, and gets an outcome from. And that is something that a lot of people overlook, and they just go into generating more leads. And of course, you could generate more leads, but then again, you are trying to solve a different problem by increasing the volume of people that you speak to. And of course, it will probably work in one way or another, but it's not the way to go, essentially. So start by looking at your positioning, your offer, who do you sell to, etc., etc. I have loads of videos on like that specific topic, so go ahead and dig through the channel to find those. Then later on, you start converting all of the insights that you collect into doing outbound, and that is, okay, so you've defined, hey, who should we sell to, what should we sell to this specific person. Then with outbound, you just place that information in front of them. Like you start generating interest and attention, not directly meetings, because you should be value driven, especially in today's day and age. Like so many people are doing outbound, you should make sure that you generate attention. You capture that attention with your outbound. Then you convert, like you get those people into your funnel and you make sure that they all see your pre-call sales or your pre-call sequence, etc. during your sort of sales process. So what you start doing is make sure that you have a pre-call sequence for your discovery call so that you disqualify people that don't fit your criteria, and that you, when you book a call with someone, that you properly warm them up with value assets, with case study results, case study breakdowns, with client experiences, etc., so that instead of booking a call on the 1st of the month and speaking to someone on the 14th, you want to ensure that during that time frame, you've built up like a few hours of contact time. And that doesn't have to be speaking to them, because that's what a lot of people think it is. And that's why a lot of people don't do it. And then that entire period is just a period of no contact, and someone gets on a call with, who were you? What did I say yes to, essentially? You want to ensure that the day after they've booked a call, you share a value asset, you share information. A few days later, you do check in on the information, you give them a phone call. A few days later, you share more value based on stuff that you see about them online. You want to build up that contact time so that when someone gets on a call with you, that you know, hey, or that they know, this is who I'm talking to, this is what they solve, this is how they can help me. They should essentially already sort of be at least a little sold on who you are, what you do, and how you can help them, and they should be convinced that you can actually help them, because that will make your sales process so much easier instead of trying to do all of that convincing during or on a call. Because if you, like on average, people need around 7-ish hours of contact time to get to a level where they are comfortable to engage with you and your business. If you try to do that all manually, then you are not going to reach those 7 hours, and you make the process way less scalable. Because if you need to build up that contact time manually with each individual prospect, you have so many working hours, so you can only speak to so many people. So you want to leverage that content to ensure that you build up that contact time, that you showcase yourself as an authority and as a thought leader, and that you are actually able to help people. Then converting them into your sales process, we already covered that. That's just making sure, like, again, have a solid sales deck. Make sure that your offer is clearly conveyed and communicated, etc. That you don't just send out a proposal of, we'll do this amount of hours, multiplied by this hourly rate, this is what you'll pay. No, create like a very specific sort of growth plan for their business, like a strategy on how you are on a year, 3-year time frame are going to help them grow their business, and not just do a thing of, hey, we'll deliver X for you. Then your after sales process, making sure that you have your freaking delivery dialed in, that your onboarding is solid, that people don't have to wait, etc., that you just, and this is not sort of your closing typical sales type of thing, but it's an important thing in making sure that later on you collect those case studies to, again, increase your closing rate further, making sure that just like you sell something that you are actually able to deliver on, essentially. And if you get into that place, then you can start looking at scaling your offer, making sure that For example, we have videos on, hey, how do you create more recurring revenue? That is something that you can look into in the scaling phase, making sure that firstly, you know who you should sell to, what you should sell to them, you should have confidence that you are able to generate interest and attention for your services. Don't think about scaling what you are doing at the moment if you're not in that place yet. And then from scaling on, it's collecting cash and enjoying cocktails in bar. No. We're not about that. we want to build solid businesses. So yeah, I like takeaway of this video. It's important to have your entire thing in place and aligned, and you can't just jump into lead gen if your offer is not good, if your positioning is not good, if you don't know what you're selling, because what will happen then is that you are just going to create one big process of unclarity and of confusion and whatever, because you should just have there's one road to follow, and you have multiple checkpoints on that road, and all of those checkpoints should be hit. And if you can't hit a checkpoint with a prospect, then you shouldn't be selling to them, essentially. That's the way that you should have this process like dialed in, essentially. I have a lot of other videos on exact sales scripts, sales tactics and whatever on the channel. So if that would help you with generating more results for your business, then feel free to have a look on the channel. Feel free to reach out. I probably have some private resources as well that I can share if you share like your challenges at the moment. That's it for this video. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. If you might have like a specific sort of question or request for a video, feel free to share that as well. And yeah, like I said, looking forward to seeing you in the next one.